I'm walking with the Word in the beautiful Monsell Valley, and I've been thinking about a verse which is kind of tucked away amongst other verses, and it's not quoted much. We don't think about it much, but it says something really meaningful and really important. You can find it in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 13. Paul is writing a letter to the church of Corinth, and he's encouraging them, and he says, if we are besides ourselves, it is for God, but if we are of sound mind, it is for you. What does Paul mean here, and what can we learn from it, and why do I think this verse is so important? What Paul gives us here is a glimpse into his zeal and his passion. Paul, by his very nature, was a very passionate person. Even before he became a Christian, he passionately persecuted the church. But Paul, in another place, in Romans chapter 10, says passion without knowledge is useless. He says that the Israelites, the Jews, they have passion, but they have it without knowledge. But now Paul has become a Christian, has given his life to God, and he's become incredibly passionate based on the knowledge. What knowledge? The knowledge of how good God is, a knowledge of what Jesus has done for him. And he sees that as a reason to be ridiculously passionate. What does it mean to be ridiculously passionate? What does it mean to be beside yourselves? Well, I think of worship when I think of this. I think of being crazy, expressing yourself, dancing before God, raising your hands, not thinking about who is or isn't looking at you, not worrying about what other people think, but just being madly in love with God. He is so worth a fully passionate response. He has given himself entirely and fully to us. He has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places in Christ. He's worth all of our energy and all of our passion and all of our love. God is worth it, but there's another part to this verse that we need to think about too. Think about what else Paul says. He says, if we're besides ourselves, it is for God, but if we are of sound mind, it is for you. If we're of sound mind, it's for you. Why? What does this mean? Well, I think what Paul is saying is, in the context of a church or in the context of public worship, there may be people who would actually be put off by our passion. If you're going crazy in worship and you're having a party before God in your church, good on you. But just remember, there may be people who are present there who don't know God. They don't have the same knowledge of God's goodness and his love and his relationship with you. And be aware that that might look crazy to them and that might actually be off-putting. It's okay sometimes to tone down our worship in order to be sensitive to the needs of other people and not put them off. But then behind closed doors, just go crazy for God. He is so worth it.